right then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another beautiful episode of Down the Rabbit Hole at the lovely DTV Studios, as you see in that wide shot. I am your host, Main Magic Mike. We've got a very special episode today. It's our first roundtable, and we have two awesome guests I liken to Wonder Woman and Superman of the scammer space. Vincentina, what is good?
Hello. Nice to meet you.
What's up?
Excited to be here.
This is dope. I'm really happy you guys wanted to do this. We were talking a little bit before the show, just how many new people are in the space. And with that, there's lack of education. And with that, there's a lot of scamming going on. So we'll get right into it. Because we talked before, and one thing you've and I'm talking to Tina and obviously Vincent, you guys are a tandem here. So but she gave me topics pre-show, so this it helped out a lot. Uncovering Moonacy. Can you guys just walk us through that? How you first discovered its fraudulent behavior, and then the steps you guys took, individually, together, however you guys want to go about it, to expose their fake registrations and influencer movement.
So I have a group of people, actually, I can't even take all the credit for it. I have a really talented group that got a hold of me. They actually fell victim to it. And they are the ones, I'll give them, especially Carlos, I'm gonna give him a shout out because he's the one who uncovered almost all of it. And my job was to let people know at that point. Usually I'm the one who's digging and finding, finding the breadcrumbs. But I just you know what? They know what they're doing. I gave them full control of uncovering it. So I actually asked him, I said, all right, so how did you uncover this operation? And it was so detailed, this operation. It wasn't you can't even blame these people for getting scammed, okay? Because they had registrations for the United States in Miami, and they had a registration in the UK. So I don't know how they managed to do that, but so he told me he searched Moonacy Protocol Company's house on Google, and it pulled up their website. Showed Charles Anderson as the officer, which is a fake name, fake everything. So the company's house is just a register. He said it fooled people to believe it's legit because people think company's house is more than what it is. Let's see. People were thinking the financial disclosure of $3 million on their profile on company's house was legit, but it wasn't. But yeah, anybody can go and create a limited company in the UK. So I'm not sure exactly about the United States, but I feel like it can't be that hard, honestly. There's so many LLCs. I mean, even
especially when you're piggybacking off of.
Yeah. But I feel like with financial institutions, anything to do with finances and money.
Backing off of another.
So that was, it's very intense. I can go into.
Let's get up to, man.
The agents, Vincent, the agents. And while she's looking that up, Vince, can you tell us what Moonacy is or claim to be?
No, I really can't. She did all of this, and I was just bystander just to cryptocurrency, and I've just went at it from this company is in the first place. There's a series of questions you can go through to establish if something is real or not. Like, for instance, I just did a award over at XRP Las Vegas. Now, it took about 2 weeks for us to kind of line up to do it. And, you know, I got a bunch of questions from the community about things people wanted to ask them to establish what their technology is, what their utility is, and if they're even a real company, right? So, you know, of course, I'm doing the interview, and I just run down just a whole list of questions to establish that they are who they are. And that's the thing side of crypto, you know, people just the registrations, and like Tina said, you know, you can kind of fake a registration, but you can't fake a person that's there talking to you and establishing that they are the responsible for their product line. You know, these are like all the fundamentals of a business that need to get established, and journalists like myself or Tina are the people that are supposed to be doing that throughout, you know, crypto and blockchain and things of that nature to prevent things like Moonacy from happening, to prevent, you know, this awful round of scams that we all see play out. That we are just in this age where a lot of these influencers, they just take the right. They don't even do their own. And Tina ran up in this thing, and so, you know, I was sitting back throughout this whole thing. I was just kind of supporting her work. You know, it was great for me finally. Who, you know, I first started out busting scams and, like, you know, outing people for, you know, using charts or memes or you know, talking about tech as if it's a stock. That's the type of rhetorical red flags I went after whenever I first started out, because these are the kind of low-hanging fruit, you know, upon how people can act, how to chain at all in the first place. So, you know, we've done a lot of work in that whole region, and we've taken a lot of flack for it.
No, yeah, I mean, it's great that there's people like both of you in the space to help, honestly, because there's so many. Yeah, we hear you. So like we were talking before, just so many people get scammed, and it is heartbreaking because they're real people losing real money, and it hurts this space growing early on. I know it's going to grow no matter what and be, you know, prominent in our world, but it's just awesome. Kudos to both of you for what you're doing. So Tina, then let's go back to you. Tell us what you know, continue what you were saying, but before you do that, just for the people who don't know what Moonacy is or what they claim to be, can you just tell people what that is?
Sure. So Moonacy, the scandal, it's like a multi-million-dollar crypto scam. And it promised 2.5 daily yields on liquidity pools. So whatever you put in, it'd give you 2.5% back on top of what you put in. So what people would do, they would, you know, they're skeptical. So they would put a little bit here and there. I mean, most of the people I talked to, like I was there's a couple of victims groups, but they all had like a similar story. They would put a little bit in, you know, just to test the waters, and they were getting their yields back. So it seemed legit. You had influencers that were also pushing it, trusted influencers to some. You had, I think it was that huge, what was it, like a crypto conference in Dubai? I forget the name of it on top of my head. They had a tent there, so that looked legit. Like some news companies were pushing it, like Trading View. So it was like, it looks so legit. It was like all over the place. So yes, you get your daily yields for high returns without a huge risk. So, and then you had fake bot accounts that were also like anybody, you know, with anything, any project in the crypto space, you see a ton of bots. And then, so the red flags for us were there's no team, which is like the biggest red flag when you see a project with crypto, with memes. There's no team, immediate red flag. So that vague white paper, that's a huge one. And then again, the UK and Miami registration. But yeah, they totally just rugged everybody. What was it, like a week or so ago?
Oh, wow.
It's really fresh. Yes. So yeah, it's really, I think we're like super early to talk about this. Give it time. You're going to hear about this scandal. It is massive.
That's pretty gnarly. I mean, that it's so new. The way, I mean, just from what we've been talking about, I figured it's already been happened and all that jazz. How long ago was it put on your radar?
Gosh, like this says the 10th is when I made one post about it. So I feel like maybe like a week or so. Maybe I think that's around like the 10th.
Wow.
I think the scam happened around the 3rd, maybe but yeah. And then there's like this random like fake like CEO of the company has not Facebook, an X page, and people were like, I can't access my funds because they'll do like, what is it? What's that called with the verification?
Vinny,
Anyway,
do you know?
I get like totally like
two-factor verification.
Yeah, something like that. So it was a verification, and people kept trying to do the verification, but
well, you know, yeah, so it's just a way for them to run interference on it and not access their funds, you know. So it's these type of things are just going to keep happening as long as we have to by these crypto companies or whatever else that's just moving in, and they just cash the check and keep moving as we march forward throughout, you know, the institutions are going to be stepping into this space, and we're not going to be subject. It's going to be handed off to institutions that are going to actually put together whole in order to serve whatever need that blockchain can provide. You know, a lot of this is because there's no laws at all upon which we can really regulate this part of the economy. Have market structure bills. I mean, all of these laws are now in Congress getting written and getting all set up, and these guys are running around and, you know, supporting whatever to cut them a check. It's insane. It's insane. There's no discipline at all upon how which we can establish that these cryptocurrency companies are for real companies and that they're actually providing a service or a good that is actually going to be used in the future and that actually has a future. So, you know, that's why it's so important to have actual journalists help sort this all out. People that aren't getting paid off. You know, publicly funded journalism is what we're doing. Like, for instance, I subs, which means that's a steady income for me to then try and focus on things that, you know, where we can support each other to do this type of thing full time. And establish what is real, what is not, to prevent this type of scammy stuff, to prevent people from getting taken advantage of. Because we're just, you know, awash with a bunch of people that just think about the money instead of the ethics, instead of the people. It's just a great problem of our time that we're living in, and it's exactly because of the inflation that we're under, because everyone just keeps getting scammier.
It's crazy. You're absolutely right, dude. And when you say these people running around getting paid off, you're speaking on influencers, right? Like, or
Yes.
influencers, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify for the
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah. They're taking the check.
I like to mention something, just touch on that point.
Yeah.
They you'll see it time and time again with these influencers. They'll write like not financial advice, like it's a like it's a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, oh, I said it's not financial advice, so I can get
Yep.
away with anything that I'm shilling you and rugging you. It's like give me a break. Or this is for entertainment only. Like,
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It almost tries to give them a like
Meanwhile, they're holding the bag on whatever.
No, go ahead, dude. I'd rather you go.
We're dealing with lag here. Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, they're saying that while they're holding the bags on whatever they're trying to support, and the first ones that are going to get out every single time. We've seen this play out so many times.
There's one actually going
because
on right
we all
now.
know they're on the take, and the take is this corruption here that's going on because all these places that they're trying to support, they're not putting up what audits on who owns all the bags or who or name of those bags as far as the company goes, as far as the influencer goes, anything like that. There's no transparency. There's no clarity to any of it, and it's directly because of this. It's the same way with Congress and getting paid off by the USAID money or anything else that for these NGOs. They're all just cashing the checks. And then her and I get taken, they come for us with pitchforks saying that, we're the awful people for taking tips or that we're begging online, where it's like, dude, we're trying to serve a purpose here. We're trying to actually help people. And like I was saying before, I finally got the ability to have subs. So it's a steady thing now, in order to safeguard the public, because nobody's doing that because they're all just cashing the checks. They're all just cashing. We are awash in a pandemic of greed against these people. No one just wants to serve the public anymore. It's awful what they do. And they talk all about how they want blockchain and this and that, but yet they're talking about getting fiat rich.
No, the hypocrisy is lunacy at its finest, honestly. Especially for them to come at people like you two, and I know there's other people in the space, not a lot, but that are out there trying to just be a man of the people, in a sense, not above but equal, and really help people. That's why I really love what you guys are doing, because I mean, there are so many, and I'm just gonna call them what it is, losers out there who just care about money, just care about themselves, don't think about you're scamming John Smith, who is a husband with 3 kids, working a 9-to-5, that saved up his money for, let's say, 15 years, and it could have made financial freedom in a sense with XRP, as we move forward with it. But instead, he's getting scammed with a meme coin or a Moonacy system. It's sad, and to anyone that's coming at you guys, it's just like, karma is a real thing. Let's just put it that way. To continue real quick, unless you guys have anything, it's in this realm. Scammer tactics. Can you guys? We'll start with you, Tina. Just give some scammer tactics that are out there for not just Moonacy, but other ones you've seen that people use to get people got.
Yeah, sure. So let's just go with what we deal with in the XRP community. The impersonation scams. I feel like they were really big and then they just took a little dip, or maybe it's my algorithm, but then I've just seen a bunch of impersonation of Brad Garlinghouse, like XRP giveaways. I think it was like 5,000 to 20K or 50K XRP. So they essentially want you to send them XRP to get XRP back, which I feel like a lot of people don't believe it, but people do fall for that. I mean, especially new people. And you know, they trust Brad's face, like it looks legit. So yeah. So they'll use like executives or influencers. Like I have a ton of fake accounts made of me.
I've actually been followed by one.
Yeah, they're crazy. And you know what? I report them all the time and get them taken down, but they just keep coming back. So that's one, the impersonation one. Phishing scams. I don't know if it's like emails. They still do emails. But you'll have like, you know, anytime you see a shady link, do not click it. Please do not click it. Rug pulls, like the DeFi projects. Sometimes they falsely tie them to XRP, hype tokens. Let's see. So what else do we have? Like the giveaway scams is huge. I literally just saw one today. I think I might have sent you one in here. Let me see.
You know, while you're pulling that up, Tony, it's funny, Vincent, one of our followers who he's a young lad. I think he might be 18, 19 years old, around that age. Nelson, he's smart. So I give him credit. This is a totally give credit, but someone pretending to be Vincent on TikTok, reaching out to him. Hey, I could, make you money, XYZ, blah, blah. And he messaged me. He's like, hey, is there a reason why Vince is messaging me that he like can make money? I'm like, bro, that is not him. That is a scammer. Block that dude, report him, get him out of there. But I'm glad you reached out to me because, and we were talking about it earlier. I was, we go out the older people a lot, but there are younger people also who, are feeling the pressure of, maybe they don't come from a wealthy background and want to make money quickly while working and stuff like that. And they could get scammed easily as well, especially from influencers who are preaching all this good stuff, like we're a family and this and that and the third. And then they rug pull them, Yeah, go ahead, Vince.
So throughout this whole time, like I've been having to adjust my verified profile. Obvious to anybody, like, okay, this is the only one I sell, and on there you'll see it says I sell nothing, I have no Discord, I have no Telegram, etc. and otherwise, just to kill off any of the possibility, but they still do it. And you'll see, and she's right, there was a drop off of impersonators and bot accounts, but what did we just see happen? All of a sudden Iran got all their stuff stolen from them by Israel. So, that crypto hack that just happened over in Iran by the Israelis, this is all like, I almost think it's like state coordinated to get a hold of the new rails upon how which value is going to be moving in the future. It's almost like they're hedging their bets. I'm not saying that I'm special enough to warrant a state attack or anything, but like this is just how, these bots go out there and they try and scam people, or these influencers that working for at the end of the day, because this is going to be how we're going to be transacting into the future. That's how important it is. And I try and maintain that I'm a journalist first and foremost. There's no influence any only really talk about positively one company and one tech. And it's precisely because it's like, well, we are at this point where these influencers who, just distract people in all these different things. And that's ammo that the scammer can then take and then try and pull that on. Always check if it's a verified profile, and don't trust anything on TikTok. 5 news articles of yourself, and so far I got like 2, so I'm on my way to get in and be a it's helped out a lot. as far as figuring out who people are, because you can host lives, you can do spaces, you can actually interact with the people, you have the blue check, it's verified. But even then, I've seen blue checks that are actually not the person that it is. So whenever I talk about scams and you talk about cryptocurrency or anything else, one of the big red flags I always point people to is, are they talking about this as if it's a stock? Bearish and like, oh, here's a stupid triangle it's gonna moon next week, whatever. Like, these are all red flag. Get out immediately. All right, these people are not. They're there to twist you. This person probably has a big bag on, so they can then trade off of you.
Yeah. No, 100%. Tony has the airdrop scam pulled up. If you want to have everybody take a look at it, team. So what are we looking at here for the folks at home?
So I was on YouTube, and if you can click that picture to the right, that's what it looks like. You'll see a ton of these. Huge XRP event, live airdrop, and like it's crazy because there's like thousands and thousands of people in these chats, like this live event, but I don't know if they're actually real or bots to make it look legit. And I'm gonna assume most of them are bots, because a lot of these scams will give you like a false sense of security, like, wow, this has to be legit. There's like 50K people watching this, and you see Brad's face and they don't want to miss out and they're new and they fall for it. And this, I think the previous photo, right here. So this was actually a complaint. It's like 2 California residents. They got scammed by the airdrop on YouTube involving the crypto asset XRP. It's just heartbreaking, because especially with XRP, we've been through a lot. I mean, you guys might have been through more than even me. I mean, like the OGs, you guys have been holding these bags through everything. I mean, a lot of us don't have a lot of money. We really, really believe in this. It's like a way for us to get out of the system that we've been busting our butts off tirelessly. Like, there's no end in sight. Like, we feel like you can't even retire, and it feels like we can finally have that freedom. And then you're working and working. Like, I even put like $20 in if I can, $10 if I can't, just anything at all, just stacking weekly. I'm always putting something. It could be $5 if I'm really tight, or two bigger. But so imagine holding on to it and you just everything you got just to get it taken away from you. And that's why I feel so passionate about it, because I know I work my butt. I'm always working. I'm always at work. I miss out a lot on, in my personal life, because I'm just trying to make ends meet. And I can't imagine getting everything I saved in XRP just stolen from me. It's hard. It's really, really heartbreaking.
I could totally relate. I would freak out as well. That's why I call it Yaman, but it's Zaman, XAMAN wallet. They're the best. I know my money's secure. I know everything's good there, especially my crypto. I don't like the third party apps. No offense to them. I do buy my XRP from Coinbase because I love the interface.
Oh, the exchanges, yeah.
I love the interface of Coinbase, but I do not store there, and I highly recommend everybody. It's free. Sure, there's a couple more steps with the seed phrases and all that jazz, but it's your money. Like Tina was just mentioning. I mean, it's your hard-earned money, and I'm like you, where it's like I'll put in as much as I can each week, to keep stacking until it does, do the green light and green candle, I should say, and skyrocket, which we all know will one day happen. While we're at it, because Tony was just pulling up some comments, I do want to acknowledge the awesome people in the chat. Trav 3000. Unless Tony, you want to read them? Get you involved a little bit, big guy.
Yeah, sure, dude. I'll read them. Trav 3000 started us off. Says, "What's up, party people.
Yeah.
Hi, Trav.
Ready to go for Friday. Josh B said, "Yo, fam, what is good?"
Josh B.
Josh B, a regular around here, as well as Danny V. What's up? He says. Craig Ross, he says, "These two, not Michael, I think Tina and Vincent, I think, are the best."
He does not mean
Thanks,
me.
Craig.
And we have quite a few people. Curtis Rees here, XRP to the moon. Thanks, Gary. It says XRP, baby, don't sleep on it. D. Schwartz Craig or Krieg says it's an epidemic of greed born of survival mode. And then Curtis going off XRP to 1 million billion trillion, dude. And he says, or Curtis says, "I'd save it. Way to dip." And then so the fees don't keep multiplying, he says. And Yaman or Zaman starting to charge, he says. I didn't even know that.
Well, and me and Vince in a couple episodes, he actually touched up on that. You know, what you're paying for is an actual company, you know. You're gonna know that they're doing. They have people to pay. They're doing all. You know, they're doing a bunch of stuff on their back end. So if there's something you're gonna pay for, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal to pay Zaman and Vince. I know you'll touch upon this. We've talked about, it, but I want you to take it from here. There's no big deal in paying Zaman, who's keeping your money more safe than an actual bank.
That's exactly what it is. You know, sorry about that. Like, my computer crashed. I don't know what to do about it, man. Like, everything is hardwired. Every time we start talking about scams, something serious, then all of a sudden things start slowing down and whatnot. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, with the infrastructure to keep their people on the payroll, to have someone to talk to, you know, in the returns and claims department or whatever, you know, it's a real thing, you know. That's what should scare you, man, because nothing's ever free in this world.
Yeah.
No, exactly, and that's a good point to make.
They're in on getting the they're in on getting the today, you know. So there's just a whole line of stuff there to say, well, Zaman's a real thing, and it's housed on the ledger that is the most compliant out there. It's ISO 222 compliant. It's also they got a node in a nuclear bunker in case anything happens. You can Zaman is hosted on top of all of that. So, you know, which means you got someone you could sue, you know, in case anything happens, in case it's their negligence at the end of the day. So when I first started doing this, I always concentrated on for real companies, for, you know, like if you're going to do anything, use something that's, you know, has compliance structures. You know, that's why I always said I just buy and sell through Coinbase, man, and I'm not getting paid by Coinbase to say that. You know, it's just a real thing I can use, even though I never store with them, you know, at all. I store with Zaman because of all those other reasons I just listed out. You know, it's about outlining a simple pathway coming from somebody that's not getting paid. You know, it's just a simple to shill this exchange, shill that trading firm, or this or that. It's endless. How many times they've tried to, you know, approach me to, you know, pull people in one way or so. I'm not even going to talk about it. Number two, if you're getting paid to twist and turn people like that, I don't trust you in the first place, fella. Who's motivating you to say to espouse a certain way or another? And that's why we're trying to come at this from a publicly funded journalism angle. We're not getting paid off by anybody. We're not taking the shady ass deals. We're not shilling anybody. We're just trying to be a resource to people that are starting out. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be onboarded here within the next year or two. And that's the problem, is that we can't go to the influencers. They've burnt their reputation through getting involved with all these scams and cashing the checks. And we can't really go to the actual companies either, because of course they're going to sell us on it. That's what they're supposed to do. Even if they're telling the truth, people just need honest individuals who can just help out, move them into just dipping their toes into this. And everything that we're saying on how to even enter this market, it's all with real companies, so it's totally safe. And that's the whole point here, is that, this is a very important change that we're going into as a people, as a nation, as even a world. And we need people we can trust, for God's sake. We have this epidemic of greed and just this low trust society, and it's just awful. So, we're trying to fill that void here that we've been so deprived of as a people throughout these last 60 years. We don't know who's getting paid off by anybody. Don't know who's getting blackmailed. Don't know who's getting anything. They can't buy, blackmail here for the people. And that's I think is the most important element.
No, I love it. I feel like we're the Justice League right now, for the crypto space. So it feels dope. Especially because, there are good people out there, and I didn't know you guys before, X, and it's just nice to, meet people that are not in your bubble, outside your bubble, that are matching you, and trying to just help people and, make some, financial freedom along the way in time, not, overnight. This is
moral people that just want to help.
Right. Exactly. Now speaking on that,
and we're all and we all found each other.
Yeah.
We all found each other like this. And like, I'm the first through the breach on the whole sub thing. And already my mind is thinking about, okay, how can we spread this around after I meet my reserve to, survive a bit. And like, all three of us could create a nice news organization between us to be like, okay, we're going to actually help people throughout this whole thing. We're going to educate them. We're going to give them a simple pathway that we're not getting paid to promote at all. It's the same stuff that we use.
Yep.
And dude, we can fill a massive void there. And I think that's going to be very beneficial to the entire country and maybe even the world. We don't know. We don't know who's watching this stuff, Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I love it. And that brings me to my next point, honestly, and that's protecting the community. When you guys are, surfing the internet, let's say, and just looking at projects or, companies or et cetera, I'm not going to even say meme coins because we know we're not looking at that, Vinny, right? What are some red flags in crypto projects? And what's some advice you'd give to listeners to avoid falling to even just giving your time?
No white paper. Right. No white paper. No website. No returns and claims department. No headquarters. You can't reach or talk to or interview the people that are running it. Important for me to talk to like Mike at XRP. He's there being responsible, and he's answering all of these questions just to get it on the record. It's a business just starting out in cryptocurrency, so there's not much there to really talk about. But that's the story, is that he's out there just here's who we are, here's what we're trying to do, here's the utility we're trying to provide, and we're trying to bring this new world into fruition. So there has to be a person there that you can interact with, okay, and that is accountable to whatever journalist that wants to interview them. And you get all of these things onto the record, just like how when I went out to Vegas and got on the record that Ripple builds a financial system. Okay, that helps out every single new person that's coming into the space to understand, hey, this is on the record. And journalists historically have always provided that service, and that is the tradition we're trying to uphold here. So all of those things were red flags, and as well as who's pushing this thing. Are they talking about it as if it's a stock and you're going to get high returns for low risk? Like these are how you spot frauds immediately and scams. if they're not explaining the utility of it, how is it actually, what is their growth plan? The audits necessary to find out who is owning all the bags of this technology, or who is the things that need to be established as facts for whatever you're about ready to invest in. And this is why we're trying to do what we're trying to do, to try and cut that time out, because I know people don't have a lot of time for that. This is the service that we can provide.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Tina? What are some things you look for, red flags that you look for, that you could give some advice to new crypto people?
So a big tell, obviously, is going to be the deep fake videos. They're really, I won't say easy to spot, because I don't want to like insult somebody who just isn't familiar with the, the deep fakes, but you might see like Brad Garlinghouse talking, but his lips are kind of glitched. He even said that he would never have a Ripple giveaway or an XRP giveaway, point blank, period. Always check like the site. So like on X, make sure it's the verified. I know there's fake verified. I seen a Ripple, it was like a gold, like they pay for, I think, like a higher tier. So it looks legit, but it's not the actual Ripple. So it does get confusing for a lot of people. I can't even really say like check and see which one, because it is hard. It really is. And I wish X did a better job at removing the fake companies, like a fake Ripple. But I feel like, and not to talk crap about X, but I feel like because they're getting paid big bucks by having that like premium subscription for the gold membership, it's so hard to remove. I mean, I can get people on my side. So like, if you go to my page, I have like a really good core. I have good people. They trust me. So I will post about like scam alert, show a screenshot, and I will at the page, and we all go there and we report it. And so we just mass report it, and we'll get pages taken down. But for some reason, which we know why, I can't and we can't get these pages taken down. Any gold page, impossible. So I really wish X did a better job with that. So like I said, the deep fakes, sketchy links, you'll see these tiny little links, and it will be like sometimes like a T dot blah blah blah. Anything with Telegram, do not go on Telegram, please. Scam like Central. I don't even have a Telegram at all. So any fake account that's pushing a Telegram, that is not me. Telegrams, shady links. Don't touch a link from some random person talking about XRP. Promises of free XRP. Nothing's free. I mean, there's one person who I trust to give free XRP, and that's John Denver, because he's a freaking saint, and he's actually the XRP. I mean, that's the only person I will trust.
Yeah, shout out John Denver for sure.
He is an awesome individual. Oh my God. But yeah, just be vigilant. I'm always posting.
The guy supported us.
Oh, sorry.
He's one of us, you said?
Oh, he's like, what?
Well, help crowdfund me to go to Vegas.
That's
he actually has been supporting, Anyway, so he supported me to go to Vegas, and he's been supporting, but like just in the propaganda war that was launched against us,
Yeah.
Do you know where he's located? It's not Denver.
It's smeared.
I think it is.
It is, yeah.
Never met the guy. Never met the guy, or even on the phone. So like he just wants to remain anonymous and just wants to help people, and that's really a big inspiration for the rest of us too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I was going to say, you know, because I'm going to be talking to I have a meeting with the owner of the building for a couple of things. One, he's coming on one of our shows. Two, we're looking to do a horror con here. And then three, I want to bring up I guess we could call it an XRP conference, I guess you could say. Vince, that we talked about last time with Tina, I would love for you to be a part of that, where we'd have it here in one of our event spaces, have people come in. We do like a Q&R type thing, food, drinks, the whole nine.
Nice.
Kind of have like a little fun event. So John would be someone cool. Maybe he'd come and not say it's him, you know what I mean, type of thing.
I'm like, is that shady guy in the freaking corner with a hat on and shades on? That's John.
Or is that just Tony?
Yeah, we don't know.
That'd be cool if he was there.
So continuing this talk, guys, passion.
That'd be cool, man. Yeah.
No, we'll talk about it off air more, but I'm definitely having that meeting with him, so I'll get more details later. But you know, passion for XRP. You know, Vince, I don't even know if we talked about this question. I think like we definitely briefly touched upon it, but I don't think it to this extent. But we'll start with Tina. And you spoke about it a little bit pre-show, which I thought was very interesting. Your passion for XRP, what sparked it, and why do you believe it's the key player in building a fair financial system?
Well, for one, I truly believe it will be the financial system, point blank. I mean, and I'm not like Vinny. He can talk about the ins and outs of how XRP works and this and that, but I'm very basic. I'm a very basic person. So I'm like your average person that didn't know much about XRP, getting into it and just hearing other people like Vincent, who is passionate and breaks it down easily for people like me. It just clicked in my head. I was like, no way that I'm this early. This is gonna skyrocket. We are all gonna be set. Even if it was even at $3. If you bought in at $3, don't be crying now. I promise. I swear, if this is going the way it's going to go, and people hate when I say this, and people hate. I know Vinny probably hates it too. I really think it's like a Bitcoin level. I do. I don't put prices on anything, but that gets you really thinking, right? Okay, it's just gonna change the whole. I mean, I'm I don't know. I get really excited. I'm trying to fathom. It's hard to really because it's just gonna change the whole playing field. It's not gonna even be recognizable. I think that's what really gets me excited, because we're not gonna even. I think I was watching somebody talk about XRP, and he was explaining. Imagine going to work, right? And you're not getting a paycheck that's weekly or bi-weekly or even monthly. You're getting paid as you're working. And I think that's a huge game changer for everybody, especially people working living paycheck to paycheck. Do you guys not understand how amazing that's going to be?
Yeah. No,
so that's why I get pumped up, especially for something like that. That's going to be amazing.
And how did you get into XRP? Because you talked about that a little bit pre-show.
Yeah,
it's actually really funny. So Vincent knows my aunt. My aunt Dawn is so funny. Jersey girl sister. So she's totally obsessed with XRP. My aunt Ty, her friend got her into it, and she told my aunt, which my aunt told my mom. And then so it was so all of us. So they actually, I'm the last to know. I'm thanks, bitches. But then they started sending money. They're buy it now. And then during the winter, mom's sending me Venmo. She's buy the debt, buy it. I'm oh my God. So we all get excited. So that's how I actually got into it. They told me.
That's awesome. Yeah. You don't really hear that usually. Not to say your aunts and mom are old, but people who are older than us,
right?
You don't really hear that type of a story where they're in it. So it's good to hear that there are the other generation of folks being aware of what's coming and what's going on. Vince, what about you? How'd you get involved with XRP? How'd you find XRP?
Well, it's actually my buddy Ryan. He was in blockchain first, and he always knew I was huge into politics and stuff, and I I was delegate for Ron Paul back in the day, and he would always talk about the monetary system and how we are, under the debt slavery via the Fed. And, he was asked back then, okay, get rid of the Fed, replace it with what? So by the time my buddy told me about Ripple, the lawsuit had dropped and they got taken off all the exchanges. And then fast forward 2 years, he mentioned it again.
Day drop.
Oh,
I know.
That's tough. You hate to see that.
Well, everybody subscribe to Vincent so he can get a new computer or internet.
Well, he's definitely like hardwired into a tree or something.
A tree is a good one. Yeah, I think it might be a tree.
It's got to be. But I said that last time. Someone should just buy him Starlink.
Oh, that'd be awesome. He really needs it because I really want to hear what he has to say.
I know.
And he really needs it because I would love to do more. There he is. He's back. I would love to do more talks. And I feel, Vinny, when you get you Starlink.
Yeah, we need to make a petition for it.
See, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. Like, everything is hardwired.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So anyway, after being a delegate for Ron Paul, and then, all of a sudden my buddy mentioned it again, and then my weaponized autism went after it, and I'm just like, okay, this is all about payments and cross-border payments, and the SWIFT system is what's actually, the vector by which the United States power structure is actually enforced upon the world by saying, okay, we're going to stop your ability to transact. And then when you understand what the Federal Reserve System is, that they can keep printing endlessly, and that's what finances all the fraud, you understand what XRP is, what Ripple is. And like Tina was saying earlier, it is the new financial system. And I got it confirmed over in Vegas, talking to David Schwartz himself, and I asked him a very detailed question. I said, okay, is what Ripple built a financial system wherein the unit of account, RLUSD, transmitting over a decentralized ledger, XRPL, through the means of exchange? XRP is either gas or a financial system. And he said, yes, you can consider those things a financial system. So this is about how we will be able to transition to this place where we can get paid on the hour, because it's low cost on how to transmit that payment. It'll be fractions of a penny for you to get paid on the hour, and that allows the ability for whomever you're getting paid by to do so. And that means you can pay for your groceries that day. You don't have to do prepaid pay as you go groceries anymore. You can just take your day's wages and go feed yourself. But the point being here is that the units of account, like whether it's RLUSD or a CBDC that's foreign because it's banned here, will be able to compete with themselves for transactions. And transactions just means that unit of account is trusted. And when you see trust, actually go to the unit of accounts that deserve it, things that are backed and audited, which means there's no fraud, which means whatever's in existence should be there. And you understand that XRP, its value after the laws, of course, will rise with or gas to convert, which means it's deflationary. If you do a domestic P, but the institutions themselves are incentivized to make it a higher price, want to cross border and to convert into whatever else in 3 to 5 seconds, an XRP to a gumball machine. Okay, so and all of the stable coins, RWAs, or CBDCs that are on the ledger is just another gumball on the gumball machine, creating those transactions. And what we can say, we can't say what price it's going to reach, but what we can do is look at the company Ripple and say, look at all the mergers they're making, look at all the acquisitions they're making, look at all of these licenses that they have, look at all of the political maneuvering they're doing, and they're fighting the government at the same time. This is all the things a real company does that believes in their product line this much, and they're setting it up to where after the laws get passed and all of the transactions then start to get to flow through, this is what they refer to when they say flip the switch. It now allows people with licenses and people within in these institutions to then use this financial technology to transmit value. And they couldn't do that before. They can't even, right now, they can sort of talk about it like financials advisors. Like there's this guy, Josh, that sometimes goes into my spaces and he talks with all of us, and he's a licensed financial advisor. He can only talk about XRP now so he can talk about the underlying asset that thing is securitizing. Professionals and the lay person that wants to, deploy their 401k or anything XRP, and then you can then deploy it in these liquidity pools in the future to the means of decentralizing the Federal Reserve System, which thereby creates a more conciliatory diplomatic process all over the world, because no longer there is there a bully pulpit not going to transact. Hey, Russia, we're going to take 300 billion of your foreign assets, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the BRICS have been saying they're going to and a couple of companies that made technology that can even do that, but there's only one company that actually has. How's that for a rant?
It was a little chaotic, especially with the internet.
I love the ending on that one. Yeah. I'm like, I can hear every other words.
Yeah.
Like, how about that? That part was so clear. I love that. Was so good.
It was like one part where I had you, and then all of a sudden it was like quiet, and then you were like Russia, and I'm like, what? Quickly go to the comments.
We need to redo this. I think
we will. We're gonna have many more of these. I think this is good.
But yes, let's go to the comments.
I don't know what's going on, man. It's
not. Speaking of the glitchy stream here, Curtis Rees says it's the bright orange hoodie glitching the stream, dude. And then he says, "Hey Ma, get off the phone. I'm trying to stream here." And then we have Loco Mancell.
I'm using Spectrum, for God's sake.
Loco says,
"What the fuck?" I think they're.
Telegram does suck. It really does.
That's what he says, and he says,
Yes.
"Man, that sucks." Vinny gone. The connection sucks. Josh B wishes he could donate connection to you, dude.
Donate Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Bro,
yeah.
Go to his page. Go to his page on X and hit the tip jar.
How would
I?
Sub, man.
This could be like an SNL skit.
I could do so much more damage, man. No shit, dude.
So funny. It's all right.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna call it on this, man. Like, if this is this bad.
Well, we only have 2 more questions. If you want to wait, it's up to you. Or if you want to go, totally whatever. But I think you could truck through it. You've gone through this far. And this is a question that both of you, it's good for both of you. Educating the community. All right. What's your approach with providing honest, straightforward education about crypto, and how do you balance that with your, advocacy for XRP?
I'll take it first. We'll get through. No. So I try to break it down for just just for somebody like me that's still I'm still learning. It's a learning process. I feel like anybody, even like somebody like Vincent, he's still learning.
Yes.
And that's like the great thing about him, is he's constantly learning for us, because he'll take all that in and then feed it to us so we can understand it.
Yeah.
Which is like, with the other influencers, not to call them out, but they don't educate. I feel like they just push like a picture and they go 10K to the moon. Like, but can you explain why or how that's possible? Or so raw, honest answers. I feel like when I make a post, I'm in the comments, like Vincent, he's in the comments, and we're talking to the people asking questions, which is very important because, like I said, other influencers will just post something and you won't see them once in the comments interacting with anybody. And I think that's why we gain so much trust with the people that follow us, because we formed like friendships and bonds with the people. We see them every day. I mean, I'm like a post and I can see, like, shout out to Elvis. He's gonna like cry because he loves me. He's like the best. He's like the coolest dude. He's like my number one, like my supporter. He's always has my back. And I'll just see the same people, and we form a really tight bond and connection. And I think that's the most important when you're talking about finances. And I think we all have dreams. We're all dreamers. I'm constantly daydreaming about that one day when, like, like they hate saying it, like flipping a switch. I am daydreaming of what I'm going to be doing that day, what I'm going to use that money for, setting my family up, and I think we all have that bond. So,
yeah. Vinny?
Yeah. We're not putting ourselves above anybody. And yeah, we're not putting ourselves above anybody. And we are talking with people, and we do form those bonds. And, it's been so important for me, like throughout this time, it's been a bit of a roller coaster at times. Like, it's just shit that's, tough to read, even though you're trying to help people, and make them understand exactly what the risks are, exactly what they're trying to invest in or buy or anything else, and not to do it with any sort of dark motivation that, it's we're doing this because we're getting paid by some firm or whatever. Like, there's just too much of that in the world. And we do see each other every day, or, talk all the time. And I never use scripts for any of my content because I want it to be as honest and pure and authentic as possible, that you're getting the full range. You're getting my memory, a bit of advocacy, you're getting a bit of emotion whenever it's necessary. But then, when it comes to really talking about a fact or something, or a piece of news, it's just all, here's what happened, here's what I think it means as far as deductions, and here's where I think we're going. And that's all the people wanted in the first place from these influencers, but they took it as an excuse to go ahead and profiteer off the people. And she's right. They'll just make these stupid posts, and then everyone's left hanging to try and interpret it. And that just screws with their emotions. And this is about people's money and lives. And we do dream. We want, better things for ourselves, for our families. And, this is about all of us getting through this together, because we've all been, at the end of the day, Michael, Tina, we've all been stolen from. We've all been lied to. We've all been poisoned. And it's been going on for generations now. And we're seeing, and we're trying to be this, end this reign of the influencer and have the rise of the public servant again. People that just want to, you don't need a monetary motive behind it. And we need to get back to that place as a culture. Now, my subs got launched to disperse the excess, to support other journalists, to support other public servants. It's about rectifying these last 60 years to reestablish the public trust again, and to really enforce that there are, and the influencers just cash the check. So we need something. And, we're just trying to figure out this the best we can, as morally and as ethically as we can. And I think that's the point.
Yeah. Two more questions, because it kind of rolls off what you were just ending with, Vince. With paid influencers tied to scams like Moonacy, which we were discussing before, if you're new here, definitely go check out the beginning of this episode. How can the crypto community differentiate between, people like ourselves and the scam artists out there that are claiming to be family, but, just stealing people's money? Tina, you want to start?
So I feel like it comes down to just being aware of, like, I feel like I'm really in tuned with like my X page, like the For You page, right? And I notice patterns. So I'll see, I don't even want to check, I don't know if I should name names, but one influencer posting about a coin, I scroll, now that's in my algorithm, right? That, because I click it and I read it. So that coin is part of my algorithm now. So when I'm scrolling, that coin will come back by another influencer, right? So then I take those two influencers and the coin and I'll put it into the AI and I'll click, and then it connects and I'll ask the AI, like, what other influencers are pushing this, whatever coin, and it'll connect. It'll tell me this influencer, this influencer, this influencer, and then it'll tell me when they posted it, and then I just ask it more questions, and it tells me, yeah, this has the potential to be a rug pull. So, I mean, I don't know if the average person is going to do all that, right? Because it's a little crazy. So what I do, like my job, that I don't get paid to do, but I love it. It's like a passion, right? Is finding out these for everybody.
Right.
So I'm always updating my page. Anytime I see something that's suspicious, I alert people. People also come to me when they see something because maybe I don't see it, right? I mean, everybody's algorithm is different. So I'm always getting update, and by severity, or if maybe I miss it, maybe I see your comment, I'm going to post about it. So right now my priority is the Moonacy scandal because it's so fresh, so massive.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. So it's just, I think what needs to happen, we need more people like us. But then again, like you said, how are we going to tell the difference, right? Because what if a me comes along and I'm doing what I do, and all of a sudden you see me pushing a coin, they're going to be like, oh, well, she knows what she's doing. She's been so trusted. So if you guys start seeing me push a coin, please just like unfollow me because I've been hijacked.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah.
What about you, Vinny?
Yeah, right. And this goes back to whatever tech. And if they're using stock language, they're trying to get you in on some sort of monetary gain thing that's going on there. These are just text. So that's your first red flag, is look at the link. Are they using these emotional tactics, like using these charts or whatever else? So the person on their account, and how engaged are they at any point in time? Anybody can, send me a message on whatever thread I got going. I'm always checking my notifications too. Just, okay, I'm going to jump right in on this, or I'll direct them to my highlight page. And like, I offer everything for free. You can sub if you want to, keep me around as a resource for everybody. But I'm not going to hide things behind a paywall either. Because what a lot of these influencers do, they'll take their smidgen of knowledge, hide it behind a paywall, and then they'll start, whatever is out for the public, they'll just, do this chart stuff, or else are they talking about these different companies that are producing these texts? Are they established as a company? Responsibility that entails to even talk about it. So that means establishing who the people are, what the white paper is. Do they have a returns and claims department? What are they as a company? Are they even establishing that? Instead, are they trying to get in on it? And you have to understand too, you can scroll back on people's accounts to figure out who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm very proud of my political history. Like, long time ago, and I believe the same things. I have that posted. when it comes to the COVID stuff or all these other massive things that we all went through.
Yeah.
Did they tell the truth on it? Did they tell the truth on it? Like, this is all we're trying to move into this high trust society, and there's been all of these trials by fire, upon which you can really take a look at somebody and say, okay, is this guy an honest broker? And I think people just need to okay, how is this person trying to make money? How are they trying to monetize this whole effort? And are they really there for the people? Like, I got sponsored to go to XRP Vegas and got that piece of information confirmed. And influencers that even told the people that this fact was confirmed. I mean, that's a massive think about it. Like, so what are they really, what is the real design there? It's supposed to be about all of us. So, that's the type of thinking I think is appropriate.
I'm glad you brought that up, because back in 2020, March, when COVID broke out, not trying to toot our horn here over here at DTV, but we had, we knew what was going on. We just didn't know when it was actually going to drop. And when it dropped, we had a series called Explore, and it was simply news and facts that weren't being ushered out on MSM, mainstream media. And it was all non-opinion based. Nobody knew where I stood in terms of getting a vax, not getting a vax, my political belief, anything like that. It was just simply, here are some things they're not letting you see, and we did that because, the next time something does happen, to your point, it builds credibility for you, for us to have people to say, hey, I see over here, during that time, they said X, Y, and Z. So maybe I should, listen to them for this, topic going on now. So I'm glad you did bring that up. Before we close out, one more thing, and we kind of touched upon it, but if you guys want to touch a little bit more on it, where do you guys see XRP and the broader crypto space in the next 5 to 10 years? And how does your fight against scams contribute or, aid in that sense to that vision?
So
Tina?
where do I see
Can I take it
XRP in 5 years?
5 to 10. Let's say 5 to 10. Yeah.
Well, hopefully by 10. Like, I feel like 5. The way it's like we're totally breaking down a system and rebuilding it. So I can't be like 5 years. I think even Brad, he was like 10 to 20. I was like, okay, it feels like it's a little more realistic. So I'm like, I don't put a price on it because it's just like never been done before.
Right.
And like when people do put prices, I'm like, how are you getting that price? Because this has never been done before. It's not something in history where we can like calculate it. It could be massive. It could be not, something on the smaller side. So I never want to hype people on the price.
Right.
It's just, there's things that come with XRP, like financial freedom. That's what I'm here for. I mean, yeah, I want to get loaded and have like a freaking yacht. That would be cool, right? But we'll see. And how do I all right, so if we're going to have this whole new financial system, we need somebody to alert people, educate people. I mean, maybe it's kind of boring for some people, like, all right, like I feel like a teacher, but there's so many vulnerabilities, especially right now. We don't have laws. It's hard to catch these criminals. So we need somebody to protect others. I mean, simple education, like even about phishing scams or especially with AI coming in, you see tons of bots. They're triggered by keywords, just basic education, always helping people, always putting new info out there. I think that's the core of it, is just teaching people, being honest. Yeah.
I love it. Vinny?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So what I would say, and Brad's right, he did a political message there. He can't hype up anything either because he's a responsible business.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, all right. So, not hype anybody anyway. He's trying to be a responsible business leader. But at the end of the day,
at the end of the day,
that was a good closeout, though.
Oh, we'll give him 1 sec.
At the end of the day.
I do think, while we give Vince a sec, if he messages me, if he's coming back or not, or if he just pops back in, I do see it being sooner, not in a sense of like, the financial system completely, like a whole new world type thing, but I definitely see, the lawsuit coming to a close soon. I definitely see some laws being implemented, and I definitely see Vincent in the chat.
He looks frustrated.
I know, but we're almost at the finish line.
I'm so pissed, dude. I'm sorry.
Everybody go to his X
about
page
this.
and hit his
There's nothing I can do about it either.
No, you're good. You're good.
Everybody call Spectrum right now.
Sub or something, man.
Everybody call Spectrum, file a complaint.
So, all right. So, Brad, shut up, guys. All right. So, Brad did a political message. He doesn't already get passed, and you have to understand what Ripple built as a company, and what they understand that it's used to process transactions, and you understand that those transactions are waiting behind the laws getting passed and it being used. We don't know. It could go fast or it could go slow, the rate of adoption, the rate of use of this thing. And that's the whole point, is to educate people on what it is, what they built, how impactful it is, what it means, versus talking about prices. Because once you understand the importance of something and what it's going to be used for and the use that it serves, there's no limit to the price, really. And in fact, putting a price on something then therefore becomes putting a box on it. So I try to approach this from a understanding of Austrian economics. I would highly suggest people look into that as far as a ethos upon how which to understand this product line and what we're about ready to go into as far as the monetary system, as far as regular average business and how transactions work. And I try and make my content a bit entertaining. Some of it's dirty, some of it's not. It's just something there as a resource that's just straight, it's honest. I'm trying to teach you all of what this is, what the scams are, and that this is the most important technology I believe has been invented in the last 1,000 years when it comes to banking. Yeah. And when you understand that central aspect, that this is an epoch change on how we transact between each other, why would you ever trade that for a meme coin? Why would you ever trade that for whatever little pump and dump that's going on here? So it's an issue of importance to really drive this home, both at home and abroad. And after the laws pass, it could go fast, it could go slow. We don't know. But we do know that the laws is what we're waiting for, and everyone just needs to be politically active to make that a reality. And like me and Mike, we have run spaces where we called Congress, and I'm pretty sure that's why I keep having problems every time we do this type of stream, because they're like, these guys are fucking shit disturbers,
It has gotten
so
worse.
They haven't marked, okay? And like we're between, I'm telling you, dude, like we're the actual ones that are trying to be the revolutionaries here, of this real change, and we're doing it through public service.
Yeah. Tony, quickly, let's get to the comments.
Let's freaking go. There's quite a few here. Let's see. Josh B was laughing at something, dude.
I think it's when Vince dropped out.
Probably. And then go back in here. Hey, Vince, how about you start typing in the comments? LOL, dude. Then he gets serious. Has been following you for a while on X because I share your same vision. And I'm thankful for all your content because the community really needs to be more realistic.
Yes.
Yes.
And
100%.
then we also have Stone Cold Takes 24/7 says I bought into all crypto, the big four of course, but I said F it. Josh B saying next time just freaking call him. Okay, Josh B getting frustrated, just call him, he says. Trav also in there, bro, to check your internet network, LOL. And then Loco back in here says they have been building this for decades. The ledger is ready to take off at any time. That being said, 5 years, plenty of time to onboard most of the money into the XRPL.
Yeah.
My 2 XRPS.
Those are great comments, great points, for sure.
That is a good point. I agree, actually. That's a really good point.
Yeah. I think we could call it. I really do just want to thank both of you for coming on. Vince, especially you, fighting through the internet.
I'm sorry.
He's always fighting through something.
I'm
No
sorry,
need to
man.
He is fighting through the bullshit. He's
And,
always fighting.
You got-
We definitely
It's
want to
an
thank
attack.
everybody that tuned in to the show. You guys,
like I talk too much shit on Israel. That's the problem.
that's honestly it. Honestly, probably is, bro.
Yo, they have some skilled hackers, all right?
Definitely. But we definitely really appreciate everybody tuning in. We hope this helped a lot.
If man, they're after me.
If anyone wants to support Vincent, sub to his X, that link is in the YouTube episode portion of this bio. It's not on X because you can't do the bio stuff on X. It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube. For Tina, her GoFundMe is in the bio of YouTube as well. If you want to support her and her mission, just click on the link. Go to her GoFund. And for us here at Downtime, go to our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. It's free and it helps us tenfold. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. We love you guys. Go down the rabbit hole. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I'm so sorry, guys.
No.